Hello and welcome to our fourth week in First John. So today we're going to look at First John 2:6. So if you're somewhat adept at Greek, go ahead and pause the recording and see if you can translate it. And now here's my translation. The one who says in him to remain, or the one who says they're remaining in him, ought, just as that one walked, also himself to walk. Okay, so that's a little, the word order isn't real pleasing to our English sensibilities. Let's look at that translation again in slow motion. So, breaking down this first bit, the one saying in him to remain. So, this is a participle. It's the very first participle form you probably learned if you've had a Greek class. It's the unexpanded. Remember, participles are like jack in the boxes. In the nominative, they're short, and then out pop some letters, and so they're longer in their other cases and other numbers. But this is the short nominative masculine singular form, and the article never lies, and the article is nominative masculine singular. So the saying person, person isn't there. We have to insert it. The saying one, the saying man. Or you could say the one who says, and then it talks a little caveman here, in him to remain. The one who says in him to remain. We have to kind of process that, put it in our Greek computer, and come out with the one who says they are remaining in him. You can see how it gets there. The one saying in him to remain. The one who says they are remaining in him. See how that kind of eventually you get a feel for how to kind of get from the first to the second. Second part here, that person, the one who says they remain in him, ought to walk like Jesus, and or as it says here, the one saying in him to remain ought, just as that one walked, also himself to walk. So again, this is a little torturous for us English people. But the one who says in him to remain ought, just as that one walked, also himself to walk. And I assume this is talking about Jesus. That this is a WWJD verse, right? That we need to walk as Jesus walked. The one who says they remain in him, in Jesus, ought to walk like Jesus walked. Okay, let's go on to the grammar, and I'll keep talking. So. This first bit here, as we said, it's a participle. It's a participle that has the article on it, has the word the on it. So we call that an adjectival participle. And there's no noun there, so we call that a substantive adjectival participle. Here's the full parsing. So it's present because nothing's been done to the stem. It's active, and it's a participle because I've just memorized that. It's the first thing you memorize, first form you memorize. It's nominative masculine singular from Lego. So there's the full analysis of that participle. My rated G translation is the saying person. And then stage 2 is if it has the article, stick in a who or that. So the one who's saying, well, that's really bad. So we go into stage 3, the one who says to remain in him. This is called indirect discourse. It's not a quote. A quote would be the one who says, I'm remaining in him. That would be a direct quote. But this is indirect. The one who says to remain in him. It's not very English. It's difficult. But eventually we kind of get the hang of how to play this game. So the second part here, this is a comparative clause, just as that one walked. So we are to walk like him. Our walk is being compared to Jesus' walk. Some traditions don't believe we can do that, but here you have it, straight from First John's mouth, that we not only can but must walk like Jesus walked. And if we don't, then we're not in the light as he is in the light. And then this this pronoun here is intensive. Remember, when autos is in the nominative case, it intensifies the subject. So I translated it as himself, he himself. So the one who says they remain in him ought themselves to walk, just as that one walked. And that one is a demonstrative pronoun, right? I didn't parse these other verbs. Let me go ahead and do them on the fly. Menein and peripatein are both present active infinitives. This is from meno, and this is from peripateo, which means to walk. And then here's peripateo, but it's been mangled a little. So go ahead and pause and see if you can parse it. And now here's my parsing. So a nu with an epsilon in front of it is almost always a movable nu. Throw it away. It means nothing. Epsilon is a very, very common third-person singular active indicative ending. And with the sigma there, it's aorist active indicative. So just from those last three letters, I know that this form is aorist active indicative third singular. And I've already told you it's from peripateo. Okay, so if you're still around on the video, now's the part where if you don't know Greek letters, we go right back to the beginning and go through the letters and their pronunciation. So go ahead and pause the recording and see if you can name the letters and pronounce it, and then turn it back on, and I'll tell you what I think. Okay, so here we go. Omicron with a rough breathing mark, ho, or some people say ha. Lambda, epsilon, gamma, omega, nu, legon. Epsilon, nu, n, which means in. Alpha, upsilon, tau, omega with an iota subscript hanging on for dear life. Auto. Mu, epsilon, nu, epsilon, iota, nu, menein. Omicron, phi, epsilon, iota, lambda, epsilon, iota. Aphele. Kappa, alpha, theta, omega, sigma. Kathos. Epsilon, kappa, epsilon, iota, nu, omicron, sigma. Akanos, or some would say akanos. P, epsilon, rho, iota, epsilon, p, alpha, tau, eta, sigma, epsilon, nu. Peripatesen. Chi, hopefully you know by now, and alpha, upsilon, tau, omicron, sigma. Autos, or some say autos. P, epsilon, rho, iota, p, alpha, tau, epsilon, iota, nu. Peripatein. There's been a crash there. You see the police line saying there's been a crash because it's peripateo is a contract verb or a crash verb. Okay, so there you have it. Holegon and auto, menein, ophele, kathos, akanos, peripatesen, kai autos peripatein. And that's our verse for today. See you tomorrow.